Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Bruce Cooper podcast. This is the first episode. Kind of. I've had a podcast before. I have a video game podcast called Play 4 Hours that is just kind of kicking off. Um, but this is something that's a little bit different. Something that I've wanted to do for a while. I let my insecurities or whatever stop me in the past, but I think it's important to throw shit at a wall and see what sticks. This is a little bit different than that, though. I mean, I don't really care if this sticks or not. That'll make more sense maybe a little bit later. I wanted to create something that is just me kind of talking or maybe rambling, as it helps me. This is kind of selfishly something that I am going to be doing for myself, or at least I'm going to try. I don't know if it'll work out. I don't know if it'll be interesting to anyone or even to myself, but I in this weird way over the last couple of years, I've been really kind of going on a personal mission to maybe kind of understand what makes me operate the way that I do. I experience a lot of frustrations with myself, and I'm working on a lot of things. This year I was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, through therapy and going to doctors and taking tests and all of that. And that was kind of a big realization, because I'd always felt kind of different, but it wasn't really until I discovered that about myself that a lot of things kind of made sense. People say that all the time, but one thing that's really helped me is journaling, but I don't like to write. I don't even really like to type. I feel it's too distracting in a weird way. Like my hand will cramp, or I'll misspell a word and I'll focus on it. And it almost feels like it defeats the purpose of doing it. So I've been kind of recording little audio messages. I'm sure everyone knows this, but I stream as well. And when I stream, sometimes I'll go on these like long tangents and stuff. And I don't know, I just going on those sorts of tangents has helped me get things out, in a way. So yeah, I've been kind of hesitant to I'm already making these for myself privately, keeping them on like a hard drive or whatever. And every single time I make one, I ask myself, like, why don't I upload this for other people to hear? Even just one person listens to it and maybe finds something out about themselves, or, um, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't have to have a reason to do anything. But I think uploading these sorts of rambles and rants and stuff might positively impact somebody. If nothing else, will just provide something for somebody to listen to. I don't know. I'm not looking for anything. I'm not doing this for any other reason. Just than to put something out there. I don't expect anyone to listen to it. I don't expect anyone to take anything away from it, because it's not really for them. This is more for me. These sorts of rambles and stuff are kind of how I've found that I like to end my day. I like to just get all of my emotions out somehow. And I sleep better. I'm nicer. It's a therapeutic thing for me. And but it's hard too, I'll go like large periods of time where I don't do it, and it that's not good. I'm gonna get kind of comfortable in my chair here. I also like that it's not on camera. um Again, it's just another distraction. But anyway, so I guess I should just kind of start. Today was a fairly good day. I wasn't able to stream today, which is always unfortunate. I love streaming, but it sometimes just isn't able to happen, and that sucks. Like, I don't think I realize how hard streaming is. It's the first thing in my life that like is really difficult to do consistently for me, but something I really love. And like that, I don't always love it, if I'm being honest. Like, it's just hard, it's an exercise in being on camera and being in front of any size audience. It gets The hardest part of about streaming for me is I'm constantly in fear of being judged negatively, and it's really hard for me to get over that. There have been people throughout my time as a streamer who have really let me know that what I'm doing is wrong in their eyes, or that I'm not doing it the right way, or maybe they see me as lazy and or whatever. And like, those people have unfortunately really had an impact on me, and it's hard to feel like everyone doesn't think that way. Sometimes, like, as a human, one negative voice can have more weight for whatever reason, um, than a lot of positive ones. And I don't know if it's because in my mind it's harder for me to say things like that. So I think maybe they really went through a lot of effort to let me know that. But I know in my heart, at the end of the day, that I am trying my absolute best. I really am. I mean, if I streamed every time that I felt I wasn't able to, there have been, like, let's say I streamed on a day that I had a really bad day, or I stream on a day where I was just slammed all morning. I turn the stream on at 8 o'clock at night, and I just go, okay, well, I need to get a stream in. I feel like I would put across a stream where I was moody or angry or upset or not in a good mood. And I've received feedback as well on that, like, oh, you shouldn't have streamed. I've had people tell me to turn it off because I'm obviously having a bad day or whatever. So it's kind of like I feel like I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. And to kind of surface on all of that, I've never felt good enough on Twitch. I've never felt like where I'm at for the amount of time I've been doing it, I should just give up. It's like whatever. But I don't entirely stream because the reason I go back to Twitch, to me still feels like this interesting, it's almost like an easel or imagine you're a painter and you have a blank canvas, and on that blank canvas you can paint whatever you want to today. And sometimes you look at the painting and you go, that was shit. This isn't a very good painting. And then sometimes you look at the painting and you're like, I'm going to remember that painting for the rest of my life. Well, those paintings outweigh all of the other paintings for me. The handful of memorable moments that I've had on stream over the years are some of the best moments in my life. So why wouldn't I want to do that as much as I can, with the possibility of having another one of those moments, And I've always loved having a project. I've always loved community. It's weird. Things change over time, and we grow and we become different. Excuse me. Had to get a drink of water. But I think over time, like, you can grow in a kind of a negative way. I've become much more critical of the things that I do. I do when I was younger, I'd play in bands. I was not afraid of anything. I wasn't afraid of ridicule. I wasn't afraid of being made fun of. I wasn't afraid of anything. And somewhere along the line in the last 5 years, I don't know if it's because as you grow as a creative person, you start to hear voices from maybe people who just don't like you. And you start to pay attention to those more than you should. I don't know. Maybe you start to dislike yourself more. And that's probably it. I'm harder on myself than I've ever been. I hate the way I look. I hate the way I sound. I hate my lack of commitment. There's a lot of things about myself that I really don't like. So it would make sense to be a little bit more shy to upload stuff. I mean, really, like I feel like my community just this is a good point, and this is something that I've wanted to kind of get out for a long time. I feel like my community sees me as this person who just is constantly searching for something. And I feel like anyone who watches me like you'd watch an experiment, and not because they necessarily like the content, you know? And it's hard to say that to my stream because then I just feel like I'm fishing for compliments when really maybe I am. I mean, the fact of the matter is I just don't like being content. I find like I always like trying something new. I always like doing different stuff. I love working on projects. I've just never quite figured out how to normalize that in my life, I think. I've never figured out how to constantly do things and constantly have something on my plate that's new and have it be something that's fun to watch. I had a really great phone call with my friend Danny, and he said something that really struck me, and it was the fact that I try a bunch of different stuff, but it's me that's doing it is my brand, is who I am. And I watch Sips. Sips is like one of my favorite streamers. And no matter what Sips plays, it's Sips playing it. And I love that. I love that it's Sips playing the game. It could be anything. But it is the fact that it's him playing it is what I love. And maybe that's what I've always wanted. When I see people doing that, I envy that and I don't realize it. So maybe all of the weird shit that I do and all of the random games that I play and things like this podcast, maybe I just need to do more of that. Have chaos be who I am. Because at the core, that's what makes me the happiest. But for some reason, I feel so guilty doing it. I gotta pause really quick. You're gonna hear a slight like break, and then it will it'll yeah, 1 sec. All right. But yeah, I a long-term goal for me is to be able to just, I guess, consistently be inconsistent with my choices as a creator, and to just be happy. I'm happy. A lot of things make me happy. I'm my least happiest, and I'm my least. I feel the most chaos in my life when I'm not motivated. I want to be motivated in everything in my life. Um, yeah, I want to feel motivated. Wait a sec. Yeah, and I think I keep hitting the pause button on this podcast software. So if you hear me like pausing, I mean, it doesn't matter. Again, like I think this is more just kind of an audio journal for me, maybe, or something. But me, like as a person, I love feeling motivated. I think it stems back to maybe how I was raised as a kid. I would my dad had one job his entire life. He worked at a lumber mill for 42 years, and he was fine with that. He did one thing. He did it really well. He put in his time, and he made just enough to survive for us to live a lower middle class normal life. And I always saw that as a horrific idea. I'm sure I don't want to look back at my life and just say, wow, like I just spent it in a mill. I don't want that for myself. I want to look back on my life and see things that made me proud. And I want to look back and say that I had a positive impact on somebody, or that I did something unique or different that I'm proud of. And I just got to remember that. It's really hard to it almost feels like in this day and age, everyone's judging you, cringy, or man, what a joke, or and I don't know how to get over that. I don't know how to do things with fear of no judgment, because everyone that I look up to, they don't seem to care. Or maybe they do. They've just figured out a way to hide it. I don't know. I don't want to care. It's just hard. I want, uh, but at the same time, like I don't want to be so uptight. I want people to be able to joke around with me and stuff. So, I don't know. It's a balancing act. I don't want to be so sensitive, but at the same time, I don't want to be just let people walk all over me. I don't know. It's weird. I already feel so much better just getting this stuff out. So I always feel better after I do this. Yeah, I think streaming, like if I look at what I want out of my stream, out of my life, I look at who Normie asked me in chat a long time ago, what do you want your stream to be? And I wasn't able to give an answer. And you'd think after doing it for 5 years full time that I would have an answer to that, but I need to figure that out. Like, I want my content, or my content. I want my stream to be unmistakably me. I want to be able to play whatever I want and do whatever I want without having to worry about if people are going to like it. Because the fact of the matter is, I don't really know. So I'm just going to assume that they don't. Or I look at viewer count, or I look at my sub numbers going down, or I look at my revenue going down. And I take that as people don't like you. People are sick of you. And maybe they are. But if I it's so hard for me to remember that if I'm just me, hopefully people will like me enough to stick around, or whatever, or maybe they won't. Like, that's what's hard. You have to be okay with people not liking you. And I oftentimes ask myself, if after all these years, why don't more people like me? Maybe I'm just not good at this. Maybe I'm too real. Maybe I'm too open. Maybe people don't want to hear a fat, miserable guy talk about how miserable he is. I get that. I just am really bad at faking it. Really bad at being like all the successful creators and feeling like everything's good all the time. Like I have a hard time like doing that, and I don't want to do that. But I'm gonna keep trying because I have really good days too. I'm not miserable all the time. I just feel disingenuous if I'm not sharing my miserable moments with my happy ones. I feel like I'm feeding to the machine that does that, and I don't want to do that. But would I like watching my favorite creators be miserable? I don't know. No. Um so yeah, I mean uh here's the thing. I'm not unhappy. I'm not miserable. I'm just still finding out who I am. I'm searching for who I am. But maybe who I am is somebody who's always going to search for that. I try to find happiness through video games. I try to find happiness through building a community of people. But I feel like I haven't done a very good job, but who really has? Who's done a good job at that? I don't know, I just I wish I could block out all the noise of my mind and just make. How do I do that? How do I block out the noise and just throw shit all over the place? God, I wish I knew. I'm going to work on it. Like talking about this has been really good. It's been a reoccurring. I realize like anybody who's listening to this is obviously the first one that I've uploaded, but I really do feel better after I do these. And I feel really good after I make something and put it out in the world. So I need to do that all the time. And I'm sure people are going to go, well, you're just so unreliable, and you're right. I am. And so if you're looking for reliability in it's the same video game or a schedule or any of that, like you're not going to find it here. And I just need to get that out. But what I will be reliable on is constantly trying to do something different. And what I will be relying on is doing things when I want to do them. And if you want to watch that and you want to go along on the ride, then fucking buckle up, Because it's not about other people. It's about it's not about me doing things to appeal to other people. It's about me doing things that I'm proud of. Because if somebody doesn't like me, then I don't want them in my life. Fuck them. And that's okay. Plenty of people that I don't like. That's just the way it is. So I just want to make for me. I want to do things for me. I want to be me. And I want to be proud of myself and the things that I do. And it's not about, oh, how hard you work. And it's not about any of that shit for me. It's more just me doing my thing, I like putting my life on the internet. I like meeting friends on the internet. I like playing video games on the internet. I love the funny comments. I love how funny chat is. What I don't like is the narrative in my head where I'm like, oh man, this is super cringe or whatever the fucking word is for embarrassing. When I was little, I really wanted to be an actor. Like I wanted to be an actor so bad. I would watch shows. I remember watching the Little Rascals movie and just wanting to be in a treehouse acting with all those kids. I was like their age. When I got in like middle school, I would fantasize about being on set with all these famous people and just being recognized on the street and stuff. And I asked myself all the time, like, what happened? And I think what ended up happening was insecurity. Because if I would have followed that dream, I think I could have made something of it, but I was insecure. I grew up, and I don't want this Twitch thing or this life I have to be filled with insecurities again. I'm a big fat guy. I'm gray. I turned gray at a young age. I hide under beanies and hooded sweatshirts year round almost. I have this bad habit where I like wear the same. I'll buy 10 black hoodies with black jeans and beanies, and I hide behind it. And that sort of insecurity follows me everywhere. And it prevents me from doing really good things. And I don't know, it's just because I can't think of a single person that does everything that they want to do when it comes to making content or putting stuff out there. I can't think of anyone who does all of that and is not what I would consider successful in life, just in terms of perception. But maybe there are, kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier. Maybe there are, maybe there are. They only put the good stuff out. Maybe me putting out the bad things in my life is ruining me. My perception, air quotes. I don't fucking know. But, it is what it is. I'll figure it out. My little audio journal. God, if anyone's listening to this, they're probably like, this dude is crazy. This dude's a fucking nutcase. And maybe I am, Can you really trust your mind? I feel I have a pretty good grasp on my mind, but I definitely go on tangents. I definitely will ramble to the point where I don't make any sense. But I'm aware of that. I don't have the luxury of a lot of people where I don't get out much and I don't talk to people. Me and Edith went to our storage unit today. I got the hiccups. We went to our storage unit today, and I talked to the manager, and we talked for like a half an hour just about an issue I was having, and we were like being really nice to each other back and forth, and had a great conversation, and I got in the car and I just felt like really full, but tired. I felt happy. That feeling you get having a good conversation with somebody and you're both like kind of feeding off of your positive, the energy, I've been in my freaking office for so long, not talking to anybody but myself, that I'd kind of forgotten what it was like to have a face-to-face connection with somebody who I didn't fear was judging me or because the fact of the matter is they probably were, but but everyone does. And it made me realize that like, I am capable of having conversations and stuff, and I'm not crazy. And I guess it just felt normal, like sometimes it's nice to just have to feel normal. But I'm also very introverted, so like that was a situation where afterwards I was just like exhausted, But yeah, that's kind of like a wrap for where I feel like I'm kind of at the end of this journal entry. I feel better. I feel like I got some stuff out onto paper a little bit. And yeah, I'll record another one tomorrow. And yeah. All right.